Good day, everyone. This is Teacher Jomar. Today is another day, another blessing and opportunity for us to learn something new about math. Prepare your self-learning module, your pen and paper with you, and let us have a wonderful day of learning. For today's lesson, we will learn about conditional statement. This lesson is based on the most essential learning competency. The objectives are the following. First, determine the relationship between the hypothesis and the conclusion of an if-then statement. Second, transform a statement into an equivalent if-then statement. What conclusion can you draw based on the pictures? First picture. Very good. The student will learn more and will have a better chance of getting a good grade. Second picture. That's right. The people are still scared of going out due to the threat of COVID-19. Third picture. Alright. The athlete will become healthy. How would you react to a situation that asks you to make a decision that will affect other people? Remember that life is all about decisions. Whether you like it or not, we always have a choice. And it is up to us to make valid conclusions in the context of a situation that we are in. We should strive to follow the saying, the study of logic will help us to learn and increase our skills in critical thinking. Before we proceed to our lesson for today, let's do the activity entitled Bawal Judgmental. Tell whether the following statements are valid or not valid. First, if a person believes in himself, then he can do anything. Francis can do anything, then he believes in himself. If your answer is not valid, you are correct. Second, if it rains, then the basketball game will be cancelled. It rains. Therefore, the basketball game is cancelled. If your answer is valid, you are correct. Number 3. If two angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary. Angle A and angle B are supplementary. Therefore, they form a linear pair. The correct answer is not valid. Number 4. If the lines intersect, then they are not parallel. Lines M and N are not parallel. Therefore, they intersect. The correct answer is valid. What have you noticed about the first statement? What do you think is the common among these statements? You have just encountered conditional statements, or what we call if-then statements. An if-then statement is called a conditional statement. It consists of two parts, the hypothesis and the conclusion. When we say hypothesis, it states the given facts that are assumed to be true, and conclusion, what needs to be proven or established to be true. And implication is a statement formed by hypothesis and conclusion. The statement if P then Q, written as P implies Q, is a conditional statement with propositional variables P and Q. The if part, P is the hypothesis, and the then part, Q, is the conclusion. You already knew about conditional statement or if-then statement. For you to know more about this topic, let us have activity number 1. Directions. Identify the hypothesis and conclusion of the following statement. Number 1. If the COVID-19 pandemic stops, then we will all be happy. The hypothesis is COVID-19 pandemic stops. The conclusion, we will all be happy. Number 2, if a student is diligent, then he is recognized by his teachers. The hypothesis is a student is diligent. The conclusion, he is recognized by his teachers. Number 3, if two angles are right angles, then they are congruent. The hypothesis is two angles are right angles. Then the conclusion, they are congruent. Number 4, if a number is even, then it is divisible by 2. The hypothesis is a number is even. The conclusion, it is divisible by 2. Number 5, if a shape is a circle, then it is not a polygon. The hypothesis is a shape is a circle. Then the conclusion, it is not a polygon. Now that you can already identify the hypothesis and the conclusion in the if-then statement, you are now ready to form a conditional statement using the if-then form. Now, let us do the next activity. Direction. Write a conditional statement given the hypothesis and the conclusion. Number 1, hypothesis, you live in San Juan. The conclusion, you live in the National Capital Region. What is the if-then form? You're right. The answer is if you live in San Juan, then you live in the National Capital Region. Number 2, the given hypothesis is 2 is even. The given conclusion is 5 is odd. What is the if-then form? Very good. The answer is if 2 is even, then 5 is odd. Number 3, the given hypothesis is a triangle is equilateral. The given conclusion is a triangle is equiangular. What is the if-then form? That is correct. The answer is if a triangle is equilateral, then it is equiangular. Number 4, the given hypothesis is a number is prime. The conclusion, it has exactly 2 factors. What is the if-then form? Correct. The answer is if a number is a prime, then it has exactly 2 factors. Number 5, hypothesis, 2 coplanar lines meet. The conclusion, the lines are intersecting. What is the if-then form? That is correct. The answer is if 2 coplanar lines meet, then the lines are intersecting. Now that you are well versed in converting conditional statement to if-then form, and can easily identify the hypothesis and the conclusion. When do you say that the implication is true or false? The implication states that P implies Q is always true except in the case the P is true and Q is false. And now that you are near to the end of our lesson, prepare your pen and paper because it is important to evaluate what you have learned. I will give you 5 seconds to answer each question and choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. In the conditional statement, if I study hard, then I will get good grades. Which of the following is a hypothesis? Is it letter A, if I study hard? Letter B, I study hard? Letter C, then I will get good grades? Letter D, I will get good grades. The correct answer is letter B. I study hard. Number 2, which of the following is the conclusion of the if-then statement? If you are in love, then you are inspired. Is it letter A, if you are in love? Letter B, you are inspired? Letter C, if you are inspired? Or is it letter D, you are in love? The correct answer is letter B, you are inspired. Number 3. What is the if-then form of the statement? A person who loves his work will be happy. A person who loves his work will be happy. B. If a person loves his work, then he will be happy. C. A person loves his work, therefore he is happy. D. If a person does not love his work, then he will be happy. The correct answer is letter B. If a person loves his work, then he will be happy. Number 4. Which of the following is the conclusion in the statement? If the points lie on the same line, then they are collinear. Is it letter A? If the points lie on the same line? Letter B? The points lie on the same line? Letter C? Then they are collinear? Or is it letter D? They are collinear? If your answer is letter D, they are collinear, you are correct. How was the short activity? Did you find it difficult? Just keep on practicing on the examples and assessment found on your self-learning module. Remember that in math, practice makes you better. I hope that you have learned a lot in our episode today. Again, this is Teacher Jomar reminding you to keep safe. Have a nice day and see you again next time.